Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syahmi. We are honored to present our group presentation on a topic that we believe is both timely and thought-provoking. So the title of our project is Reception of IIUM Students Regarding Celibacy, a silent challenge to marriage, gender roles and religious fulfillment. So this research explores the changes attitude among young Muslims, particularly IIUM students, regarding celibacy and how these changes challenge traditional understanding of marriage and religious life. So some of us doesn't know the means of celibacy. So celibacy refers to a voluntary decision to remain unmarried and abstain from sexual relations. In Arabic, this concept is often described as tabattul, which implies distancing oneself from marriage and worldly attachments for spiritual reason. Historically, celibacy has been associated with devotion and religious dedication. For example, Imam An-Nawawi interpreted celibacy as a personal choice to avoid marriage in order to focus on worship. However, in today's context, the reasons behind celibacy are evolving, especially among educated Muslim youth. These reasons are no longer solely spiritual, but also social, emotional, and ideological. So our research investigate how IIUM students perceive this phenomenon and what drives some to adopt celibacy despite the high value Islam places. So the purpose of our research is addressing gender injustice. We aim to highlight how issues like discrimination and oppression, particularly toward women, might contribute to some students choosing celibacy. Other than that, we are preventing misinterpretation of Quranic verses. The study seeks to promote accurate interpretation of the Quran regarding gender roles and marital rights, avoiding harmful personal interpretation. Last but not least, we are encouraging discourse. Ultimately, we hope to foster meaningful discussion among students about celibacy, marriage, and Islamic values in our contemporary world.
So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, moving to my part. My name is Muhammad NAZIM ADIL bin AHMAD NIZAR. My metric number is 231415, and I am going to talk about the goals and also the aim of our research that I made. The first one, we want to give IIUM students the awareness of the rise of volunteering among the celibacy itself, because we know that the modern people and also the modern students chooses celibacy as their way of life to maybe solve the unresolving problems of their own. The second one, that we want to encourage the discussion within IIM students regarding evolving perception of marriage. We wanted to create a safe space that all the people can talk about celibacy and also not misjudge them. And the third one is we want to examine the contemporary challenges such as education, career focus, and etc. etc. And we wanted to identify about what is making them delay marriage. And the fourth one, we want to investigate the ethical implication and impacts on evolving trends of celibacy within framework of Islamic teachings. The fifth one, which is the last point that I am going to talk here, which is we want to contribute the academic discourse and community debate regarding the rise of celibacy and Islamic values in IIUM students to make people more aware and also make people understand about the celibacy itself. So moving on to the next question that we might ask ourselves, which is I'm going to talk about the next subtopic, which is the significance of the celibacy itself. So we might ask, why are more IIUM students choosing celibacy? What does it tell us about student belief and values? So the first one is the rethinking marriage in Islam. So Islam teaches us to have ready to many aspects before choosing to be married. So the second one is personal understanding of religion. We know that everyone have the different views on Islamic worldview. And also the next one is emotional and mental factors that some of us consider them as still not ready for it. And also role in Islamic education. And the last point that I would say, that the changing in moral belief. Maybe some of the students still is comfortable with their own lifestyle and choosing to stay single for now on.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad JAFNI bin Muhammad ROSLAN and my metric number is 2318925. So next, I'll be presenting about our objective of this case study entitled The Perception of IIUM Student Regarding Celibacy. So in this case study, we have three main objectives that we will discuss in this video. So for our first objective of this case study is to examine how the teaching of ethics and faith contemporary issues equips IIUM students with Islamic and moral reasoning. These courses are designed to prepare students to think critically about modern lifestyle trends through the lens of Islamic values. With voluntary celibacy becoming a topic of discussion nowadays, especially among Muslim youth and teenagers, we aim to understand whether the student can engage with this issue thoughtfully while balancing personal choices with the ethical principle that they have learned in class. So, does this subject help students question and analyze the rise of celibacy in a way that rooted in their faith? Also, celibacy isn't just a personal choices. It has ripple effects on how individuals view relationships, family, and also community roles. Thus, our second objective for this case study is to evaluate the role of ethical and jurisprudential education in shaping students' understanding of the broader implication of choosing celibacy. So, we want to see how well students grasp these dimensions and whether they can relate Islamic teachings to the real-life impact of choosing celibacy over marriage, particularly or specifically in a context that values family as a foundation in a society. And lastly, our third objective of this case study is to promote positive Islamic values and character development by addressing celibacy within a framework of religious fulfillment and social responsibility. Rather than condemning or promoting the lifestyle outright, our goal is to encourage and inform a balanced discussions that help students to think deeply about how their choices align with the idea of Islamic teachings. This includes nurturing a sense of accountability to the student, but bear in mind not just to oneself, but to one's community and the creator when navigating a complex life decision. So, these three main objectives for our case study guides our effort to explore how Islamic knowledge shapes student perspective on arising modern issues such as celibacy.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad ILHAN bin Muhammad KAMAL. My metric number is 2319653. Now I will be presenting about the methodology for our case study. So our study adopts a quantitative research approach by collecting primary data through an online survey using Google Forms. So this survey is designed to explore IIUM students' perception and the understanding of celibacy within the context of Islamic teaching. So the questions that we use include a mix of closed-ended and open-ended formats to allow both statistical overview and also some personal reflection. These Google Forms or the questions that we use is actually targeted for the undergraduate students at IIUM. The findings will provide us with some insights into how contemporary Muslim students, especially the students of IIUM, on how they interpret and navigate their personal lifestyle within the framework of Islamic ethics. So, based on the survey that we have conducted, we found that the IIUM students has a diverse yet insightful perspective on the concepts of celibacy. Most of our respondents are familiar with the term and commonly defining it as the state of not being married or abstaining from sexual relationship, while there is a significant number of students that associate celibacy with personal goals or past experience. However, there are fewer participants that acknowledge that it is as a norm in the cultural context. Okay, so based on the third section of our survey, most of the respondents believe that celibacy is chosen for religious or spiritual reasons. However, there's a mixed perception on its psychological benefits because some of our respondents recognize self-discipline and focus, while the others highlight on loneliness and lack of support. As a conclusion, although the interest in celibacy exists, but I can say majority of the students from IIUM prefer marriage. This is because these students emphasize on their religious beliefs, companionship, and also their desire to build a family. So These results suggest that while celibacy is being acknowledged by the students, marriage still remains the ideal for most students due to its alignment with cultural and also the religious values.